What if I told you that this, the most feared and perfect predator in the ocean, a 400-million-year-old masterpiece of evolution, is actually living a life that completely and utterly sucks? What if being born means your first act is murder, and your first meal is your own sibling? What if this 4,000-pound titan has a bully so terrifying, it can paralyze it with fear before performing live surgery on it? And what if, after all that, the biggest danger it faces is a creature it will never even see coming? Forget the monster from Jaws. The real story of the great white shark is a tragedy of cosmic proportions. Let's be honest, when you think great white, you think of this. Show the Jaws poster. The ultimate movie monster, an eating machine, a mindless killer. Pop culture has painted the great white as a villain for so long that we see it as less of an animal and more of a demonic force of nature. And on paper, the legend seems to check out. This is an animal that can detect the faint electrical field of a beating heart from miles away, using organs called the ampullae of Lorenzini. It has a sense of smell so acute it can detect 1 part of blood per 10 billion parts of water. It's one of the only fish that is partially warm-blooded, allowing it to move with explosive speed in cold water. Its bite force is a staggering 4,000 psi. This creature is, by all accounts, an evolutionary triumph, a living weapon perfected over eons. It's the CEO of the ocean, the king, the apex of all apex predators. But this entire image, this carefully constructed myth of the invincible sea demon, is a complete fabrication. The reality is a life of constant, grinding struggle, unimaginable brutality, and cruel cosmic irony, a life that sucks from the literal second it gains consciousness. A great white shark's life sucks before it even begins. Inside its mother's uterus, it's not alone. Up to a dozen embryos start developing. But this isn't a happy, supportive family waiting to be born. This is the first and most intimate war zone. The largest and strongest embryo engages in a practice called intrauterine cannibalism, or more specifically, adelphophagy, a fancy word for eating your brothers and sisters. Before it has even seen the sun, the unborn shark must kill and consume its own siblings in the dark, cramped confines of the womb. It's a battle royale where the prize for winning is simply the chance to be born. So congratulations, you've won the womb wars. Now for your reward. Your mother gives birth and immediately abandons you forever. No swimming lessons, no hunting tips, no watch out for the weird black and white dolphins. You are now a 5-foot-long, completely clueless pup in an ocean that wants to kill you. And this is where the awkward teenage years begin. A young great white doesn't know how to hunt seals. Its jaw isn't strong enough. So it has to survive on fish and rays, all while avoiding being eaten by larger sharks, including other great whites, and even aggressive sea lions who will bully and attack a juvenile shark. It's like being thrown into the world's most dangerous high school with no friends, and everyone wants to either beat you up or eat you for lunch. Okay, let's say you survive. You make it through the clumsy teenage years, you figure out how to hunt seals, and you grow big. 16 feet, 4,500 pounds of muscle and teeth. You are now the undisputed boss of your neighborhood. You fear nothing, almost. Because there is one thing in the ocean that isn't just your predator, it's your nemesis. A creature that hunts you not with brute force, but with terrifying, cold, calculated intelligence. The orca. And this isn't a hypothetical. Off the coast of South Africa, 2 male orcas, nicknamed Port and Starboard, have become shark hunting specialists. For years, they have been documented systematically taking down great whites. Their technique is a masterclass in predatory genius. A team of orcas will isolate a great white. Then one of them will slam into the shark's side, a stunning blow from a 10,000-pound animal. Their goal isn't to kill it with the impact. Their goal is to flip the shark upside down. This single move exploits a critical flaw in the shark's wiring. When inverted, a great white enters a state of tonic immobility, a temporary trance-like paralysis. The great hunter is now helpless, a floating zombie, completely at the orca's mercy. The orcas then perform a horrifyingly precise act of field surgery. They use their teeth to slice open the shark's torso with surgical precision, right between the pectoral fins, and they pull out its liver, a fatty, nutrient-rich organ that is essentially an ocean superfood. They eat the liver and let the rest of the 4,000-pound shark carcass sink to the ocean floor. The king of the ocean, disabled by a clever trick and reduced to a single-serving meal. Surviving the orca mafia is one thing, but the daily existence of a great white is its own special kind of hell. First, the most basic fact. A great white can never, ever stop swimming. They are obligate ram ventilators, meaning they have to constantly force water over their gills by moving. If they stop, they suffocate. There is no rest, no sleep as we know it, no off switch. It's a lifetime sentence on a treadmill of death, a 70-year marathon with no finish line. And romance, it's even worse. For a great white, mating is a violent, brutal affair. To hold on, the male has to bite the female, gripping her with his teeth. Females are often left covered in deep gashes and scars. In fact, female great whites have evolved skin that is literally twice as thick as a male's, just to survive the experience of procreating. Their lives are so tough, they've had to evolve armor plating against their own partners. Even their greatest superpower, their senses, can be a curse. That incredible electrical sense? It can be overwhelmed by metal and electrical fields from human activity, leaving them confused and disoriented. Life is a constant, painful, exhausting grind. So your birth was a horror movie, your childhood was a deadly game of hide and seek, your only predator is a Mensa-level genius, and your daily life is an exhausting, painful marathon. What could possibly be worse? Us. The final, cruelest irony for the great white shark is that its greatest threat is a creature it will almost never see, an enemy that kills it from a distance, silently and efficiently. Millions of sharks die as bycatch, tangled in nets meant for other fish and left to suffocate. The barbaric shark fin trade kills tens of millions a year, their fins sliced off before they're thrown back into the ocean to die slowly. The chemicals and heavy metals we dump into the sea build up in their bodies over their long lives, poisoning them from the inside out. The plastic we throw away is choking their home and their food. We are systematically dismantling their entire world, wiping out their food sources and polluting their home. This ancient, magnificent survivor, who endures a life far tougher than we could ever imagine, is being pushed towards extinction. And it has no idea why. It can't fight back. It can't adapt. That more than any orca or sibling is why it truly, deeply sucks to be born as a great white shark. The king of the ocean lives a life of constant fear and struggle. But what about the supposed king of the jungle? You might think a lion's life is a glorious reign, but what if I told you most male lions die not in a noble battle, but are left to starve, alone and defeated? Click here to watch Why It Sucks to Be Born as a Lion and discover the brutal politics of a pride. Thanks for watching.